Welcome back, my dear students. So we have come very far with our application. So far, we can log in, we can create posts, edit posts, delete. We basically do the CRUD with posts. We can even do the CRUD with categories. Really cool stuff. We have even a custom feature here where we can create multiple posts if we want, and we can, of course, use that feature with any other data that we need, right? We can modify it. So there are a couple other features that I want to include here, but one of the most important features is that I want to include is the creating comments on each of these posts. Okay, I think that would be a neat feature to have, and of course, because this is like a blog in a way, um, it's something that it's needed here. As you can see, it would be pretty nice to have something like this. So let's go ahead and start creating it, and let's see how we can attack this situation. The first thing that we need to do is create some type of model if we are going to be creating posts, right? So let's go here, and I'm gonna right click and create a model for comment like this, a comment model .js, of course. I'm gonna grab some of the this is too big. What about category? Perfect. I'm just gonna grab this here and I'm gonna paste it in here. Okay, and of course I'm gonna change the name to say comment schema, and I'm gonna copy that and paste it right here, and this is gonna be comments. Okay, like this. Now keep in mind that we can, if we wanted to, embed comments inside the post schema. Okay, and make it so every time you see a document in our database, for example, let's say you see a property here or a field here, you can see all the comments of that specific post. But again, if you think about this, if we had a property here, a field that had a whole bunch of other data in there, like let's say 1,000 comments, this document here would look crazy, right? So I think it's better to keep that in a separate collection. So that's what we're going to be doing. That's why we're creating this model, because if we weren't putting this in a separate collection, we don't have to create a model for it. Okay, we can just play around and always access the post model to access those comments. Okay, so we would do something like post. When we get the post, we can say post dot comments, and then access, you know, post name or body or whatever. Okay, but we're not doing that. So, and that would be, of course, in your routes. So let's go back here, and what do we want from the comments? Well, we want the body, and maybe we want the user, right? So I'm gonna start creating the user right away here. And remember that the user, what we want from the user is some type of ID. Okay, we want to create a ID for each of the comments, a owner basically of the comment. Okay, um, so we got to think about this relationship. We create a user, and of course we need a user for each comment anyway. So let's create the schema for it. Schema types object ID like this. Okay, so each user, each comment is going to have a user. We know that would be the logged in user. And now we're going to have a required that is going to be actually the users model. That's where we need that users from. Okay, from here. So now in the post table, and let's actually finish this up. Body type string is required. You can also make sure that this is required too, just in case you encounter any errors. Okay, so in post here, what we want to do is we want to have a field here of comments, and here we can keep the ID of each of these comments. Okay, so we can say that the type, and if you go back here, we have it right here as well. Okay, remember that when we're using the square brackets here, we are creating an array, so it's gonna keep multiple IDs, not just one. Okay, And of course, the comment is going to refer back to the comments, not the categories. Okay, pretty cool stuff. So in the post, model, we are going to keep all the IDs of all the comments instead of keeping all the individual documents embedded in here. Okay, it's better to have IDs. So that's it. We're done with the relationship, guys. It's very simple. In the comments, we are referencing the user, and because we are referencing that model, okay, that collection, we have access to all these properties there for that user later on. So anyway, thank you so much, and I'll see you on the next lecture. All right, welcome back, my dear students. So it's time for us to start looking into what is the next step. So we have created our relationship, okay? So this is where we are. We have created a relationship between the comment schema, the post schema, okay, and the user schema. Remember that in the comment schema, we have a user relationship. We want to know, we want to save the users or the user of that comment. Okay, in this case, it's just one single user of each individual document, right? Each individual comment. In the post, we are collecting an array of IDs of these comments. Okay, and remember those comments will have a user. So pretty cool stuff. Let's get to the dirty part of this and let's create a route. Let's look at what we need first. Okay, let's go back to the home page. So we know that we are creating a comment, so we need some route to add a comment. Okay, and we also going to need a route to display the comment. It's up to us or to you, as a matter of fact, if you want to edit the comment that each individual user um, writes. I think it would be a good thing if some users actually, either depending on how you want your application. I like to leave it just without editing. And if I like the comment, I approve it. If I don't like the comment, I don't approve it. So that's the type of thing that you got to look out for there, depending on how you really want your application. Do you want to be able to edit the comment or not? As an admin, I say why not, right? But we'll see later on what we decide. Right now, I just want to submit the comment and I want to display the comment. That's what we need, right? Create and read. So let's play around with this a little bit. Let's go to routes and see in admin here, we need another route for comments. So I'm just going to make a very simple route. Okay, so I'm going to create this file that's going to be called the comments.js, right? And I'm writing it because I want you guys to get used to writing it manually, because I know some of you don't have the template like I do with the extensions that will write it automatically for me. So I'm kind of trying to do it as you guys doing it. So the first thing that we need is we need Express, we need the router. Okay, so these are the first things that we need. Let's go to comments and paste that there. Then we also need to export the module. Okay, so the first router that we need is the first route is the post route, right? And just got to come here. We got the request, the response, and then we got to see if this works. So we do send. It works like this. Perfect. Now we need to create this route right here, include it first of all. Okay, and this would say, of course, comments. We got to go back here and delete this bad boy and create that one. Come back here, copy that whole thing. Now comments, we got to use that, and this would be comments. Okay, now we have to go to our view. I'm wondering why my file is underlined, therefore my app.js is underlined like it has some type of error. It looks like it does right here. There we go. That's why it's good to have an IDE. You see, it helped me find an error real quick. So let's go to our views, home, and let's look for this post that handlebars, and on the comment section we have a form somewhere right here. This is the form. So let's give it an action of admin, and that would be admin comments, I believe. Let's actually look at the route again because I forgot. It's admin comments. Okay, and the method would be post. So let's see first of all if this works. While I'm here, I'm going to give it a name of body and give it this value here in this attribute, the name, give it body. Okay, and let's see if this works. Come back here. Oops, my server is now running, or it crashed because I have some type of error here. It says route. Let's go back here to my comments. There we go. It's router. Again, writing in my head without putting it into submit, and it works. Okay, perfect. So let's go to the next lecture where we are going to start working on submitting comments to our database. Thank you so much. See you then. Welcome back, my dear students. I hope you guys are having a lot of fun and learning lots of new cool things in this course. So here's the deal. We are creating comments on this section, of course, but we need some information. We need some data, right? Let's come back to this here. And some of the data that we need to go back to our post here, is the post ID, right? Because we want to send the post ID because we need to insert it, and we need to insert that we need to find that post so we can insert that specific comment that's being created. Okay, very simple. So we find the post, and then once we find the post, we go inside this field here, comments, and this is an array, and we insert that ID. Because a post can have many comments, we need to create an array, right? So that's what that is here. Of course, in this lecture, I'm also going to show you how to insert the user, okay, the logged in user, to our comments model as well, or schema, as you can see here. Okay, and I'm glad that we already built the logged in capabilities in our, or login feature in our app, so that way I can show you how to do this. So the first thing that we need is we need to send the ID. Okay, let's go to post that handlebars. That's in the home directory here, don't forget. So we have a couple ways of doing this. We could either do the post.id right here, or we can create a hidden input, which I haven't discussed that yet, but I'm gonna do it this way. Hidden input, and I'm just gonna name it ID. You can name it however you want. And then the value, oops, would be post ID. Okay, just like that. Perfect. Let's go back to post comments route, and here the first thing, one of the things that we need to do is include this here. You probably have not done that yet, so make sure that you include your post model like I done here ahead of time, just because I didn't want to write all that and make you wait for it. Okay, so make sure you have your post, and make sure you have your comment, because we're gonna need that. Okay, so now you come here and you're gonna say post, and you might be asking, when did you do this, Edwin? When did you require? Well, I required that code when you weren't around. I did it before I'm recording right now, so that way I didn't have to write it. Okay, so make sure you have it there. So find one, and we're gonna find that specific post that's gonna come from the body.id, from the post data. Remember, that's how we get post data. Okay, and then we're gonna do then, and there is something wrong with my post.find one. we might require. Oh, this is an object, of course, and we need the ID. Duh. Come on. You see, this is again me writing stuff in my head and not putting it in the code. I don't know if it happens to you, but it does happen to me very often. So we're gonna get the post, and once we find the post, then we are going to do a couple things. First of all, we need to construct the object that's coming, or the new comment, right? So we're gonna create this. We're gonna node this up. So we're gonna say new comment and new comment here like this. Not command dispatcher. What is going on? And let's just put everything inside here. So the first thing that we need is the user, and we're gonna get that from the request user. Remember that this is being created by our session. When we log in, okay, we have this user being created, okay, and passport is taking care of that, and we have this ID. Remember that passport is the one that we're using now to log in. Okay, that's our new login system. What else we need? We need the body and request.body.body. Simple as that. So once we have that new comment constructed, that's nice. We come here, we grab the post that's coming from here, and we say, well, I want to access the comments property that you got in the model, and I want to push something to it. What we want to push the new comment. Simple as that. Okay. Now we want to go ahead and save that because we have not saved it, and come back here, and then we say then, and this is supposed to be a dot here. Saved post. Once we get that saved post, what else we want to do? Well, we want to save the comment, right? That save comment, and then we're gonna get another promise with a comment that was saved. And what do we want to do here? Well, the last thing we got to do is redirect the user back to where they were, or maybe show some type of flash data. Okay, we're probably gonna do that later. Let's use template strings here to redirect the user. And we're gonna go to post and post.id. Okay, pretty cool stuff. We'll refactor this a little bit later. We'll make it better. So let's see if this works. If I'm not forgetting anything, maybe we'll when we encounter errors, we'll come to that. Remember that I love errors because you learn a lot more like that. So we need to log in to get that user. 1, 2, and 3, and it looks like it did it. Let's go to our database, and here, this is what we're supposed to do. This is the first document here that we got, and we're supposed to see a new field called comments with an array of IDs. Let's refresh, and we don't see that there. Let's go back to our application. Let's see what we forgot here. So we find the post, okay, and then make sure that you find the post by doing some type of console log, okay? Very important. You should do that first because now we are debugging. Post. Oh, make sure you don't have this guy here. And let's go to the front page and see what's going on. That's hanging there, okay? It looks like we're not getting the post. You see that? So we're not getting that post. Well, we're not getting that post, of course, for some reason. So it's null. Let's go back to our post that we got the value here. We got an ID. Let's go back. Let's refresh here. Come back here. And name, ID, value, the type is hidden. It's not finding it. It's supposed to get the post. Oh, forgot the underscore right here. You guys probably saw that already, right? I'm pretty sure this is gonna find the post now, but let's just, you know, do it. Let's just check it anyway. All right, you guys saw that. I'm pretty sure those of you that are always looking into little details, and then it's still hanging here, but we get the object. Great. All right, so you see, very simple to do that. Now let's go to the next problem, okay? Because I'm pretty sure we're gonna get something else. Let's come back here. And it's still hanging there. We're getting some other errors. It says type error cannot read property ID. That's because we haven't logged in. Okay, so now let's log in and let's see if that error goes away. Make sure that you're logging in with a registered user. If not, your application won't log in, right? Let's go back to home page. Let's try to create another post and see comment and see what happens. Still hanging. Let's check it out. And it says, Mongo unknown modifier, push all. Okay, so if you, and I got a pretty good idea. This is a deprecating warning on handle promise deprecating warning. Okay, if you go ahead and do a Google search on this, you will find out that this is not being supported anymore, and that you need to go to your model, and as a second parameter of this function that we newing up right here, schema right here, we need to create an object giving directions to use a push each. Okay, let's go and check. Go real quick to no modifier. I just want to show you where this information is. A no modifier push all, something like that. And I think I thought I found it here somewhere. Anyway, you're welcome to Google it. I already know the solution, but it's the second parameter here, and we need to pass in use push each. And we need to set this to true. Okay. I believe this is. Uh, let's find out real quick because I couldn't find the information when I wanted to. So let's go back to our application real quick and let's refresh. Let's log in. And 1, 2, and 3. There we go. Let's go to home page real quick. Hello from Edwin Diaz. Enter. Oh, there we go. Let's check our database, cross our fingers, and voila, there we go. Look at that. We got an array now where first comment. This ID should match a new collection that we have here somewhere now. Let's refresh, and voila, new collection. And this is the same ID. You see that? Not only that, but we got the user. Look at that. BB is the user. So if you go to users, BB is the user. So we got that user there too. We can access that user from that comment, guys. Pretty awesome stuff, right? Pretty awesome. Let's make another comment because I'm just enjoying this, right? Aren't you? Okay. So hello from Edwin again. Submit. Come on. Let's see. Let's go to post, and we should have a refresh. Oh, 2 comments here, 3.3 and 3.4. If we go here, 2 comments, 3.3, 3.4. Same user, right? BB, BB. And look at the message here. Guys, this is a version key or something like that that Mongoose does. If you're using the MongoDB module, you're not going to see this field here. This is extra stuff. Okay? So we're doing pretty good, guys. Pretty good. If you were able to achieve this on the first try, good job. Okay, very good job. If not, don't worry. Just keep practicing. Ask questions if you like. And I'll see you in the next lecture, guys. Take care. Bye bye. Welcome back, my dear students. So we got a couple more things to go here. We're making a comments, right? First of all, we can't see the comments in the admin. That would be wonderful if we can see the comments there, right? And delete them or approve them or do something with it. So that's one thing that we got to look into it. What about approving the comment? Is the comment active or not active or something like that? So can we add another field in the database and make it so? So if we go to comments here, we only have the body of the comment, and that looks really weird there. I guess because I'm making it big. Okay, as you can see, the body there, it's just anyway. So can we create some type of field here that would be maybe a Boolean value that says 0 or 1, making the comment active or not? First of all, let's go and start working with the routes with admin. So let's that's one thing that we got to do here before we get into that. Okay, because the way I like to do things, I like to build it up. Okay, we first create a general thing and then we start building it up with features that we want to include. Okay, now of course, you most of the time we build a plan and we say, okay, we're going to attack our project this way. Okay, but my main concern with this course was to teach you Node.js. I'm creating this project as I go along, and I'm going to keep adding more features as I come up with them and as you guys request it, like I do in all my courses. There's not always a set plan. There is always a general plan, but that's a plan that I write on myself. Yeah, you're welcome to use a tool like Balsamic or something like that to create your mockup for your application. Balsamic is this really good tool here that I use. Um, right here, it does cost a little bit of money to play around with it. Actually, it's like, I think it's 14 days to play free to play around with it, and then I think it's like 70 something dollars or something like that. Anyway, um, let's go and create some type of, you know something here so we can see the comments. I think it would be nice if we could create a link inside the post here that would say comments, because comments actually belong to posts, right? um, so unless we can just create it separately and look at, what, let's create it separately so at least we have more things here, more menu. It will look nice. So let's go to admin. Let's what is it? Well, we're looking for views, layouts. And I think if we have it in partials, right? Let's right here. So I'm just gonna come up with something like categories here. Category has a tooltip on top. We don't need all that, but let's just paste it here like that. And let's just call it comments. And of course, we don't have something called categories. I think I was playing around with that. Um, we'll fix it later on. Let's just put a gear here. I think a gear. They do. Font Awesome has a gear. This is Font Awesome that we are using, guys. Okay. Later on, we'll find when we're tweaking our application, something that looks a little better for fonts. Remember that all these classes are pre-built classes that are already included with our Font Awesome that we are including in our layout file on top here. Okay. For those of you that are wondering where the heck he gets all this stuff from. Okay, I'm assuming that you guys know this already, so that's why I don't tell you much. So we're gonna go to comments here. We're gonna create a route for that, and let's go to comment routes, comments right here. So right here on top, let's create route.get, and requests rest.render. We have not created that view yet, but we will, right? And it's inside the admin, and it's called comments index or something. So we need to also create that view, and let's create another directory where it says comments, and inside this directory we're going to create that view, and it's going to be a handlebars. So it's going to be index.handlebars. Okay, we're going to fix that in a little while, but right now what I want to do is make sure that everything is working. Comments, and of course remember that that route needs to have a, actually let's come back to routes. Make sure that that route has a all route applying the admin layout. Okay, don't forget that. So we need this all route applying this layout. All right, refresh, comments, and now we click it, and now it's working. Okay, we got that. So in the next lecture, we're going to start working on displaying our comments. Thank you so much, and I'll see you then, guys. Take care. Welcome back, my dear students. You guys ready? Okay, let's do it. All right. So you guys ever wonder why I sound so optimistic, sound so happy all the time? I love what I do, guys, and you should be loving what you're doing right now, learning, which is a really cool thing to do. Okay? Once you learn it, you can do whatever you want. Knowledge is power. Remember that. Okay, let's get to this. So we got the index here, but we're not really doing anything with it. We need some data. Okay? So let's actually create some type of fake table there, and I'm just gonna go to here somewhere. I'm just gonna say bootstrap table. I'm just gonna say bootstrap 4. That's the table. That's the bootstrap we're using, right? And right here it tells me, gives me some information about some table. I'm just gonna copy this guy right here. I know some of you guys are downloading this from other sites. You're not supposed to, but I'll forgive you as long as later on you do the right thing, okay, and get the course right way. Anyway, let's go to comments, and I'm going to put that data in here, right? So what do we want from the comment? We want the ID of the comment. We really don't. I'm just gonna try to get as much data as possible, right? We want the owner of the comment. That would be nice. Maybe the post it belongs to. I don't know. I'm just putting some stuff here. And the owner and the author of the comment. Maybe we can get the uh, author. Maybe the date. What about the date of the comment? That would be nice. Okay, perfect. Let's see how that looks. Refresh. Okay, that looks okay. Let's put something else on top here. Let's maybe put an H1 saying comments or something like that. There we go. That looks good. Perfect. So let's work on displaying them. Let's go to the route here. Let's see if we have the model. Yes, we do. And we're going to say comment. And I need to find all by doing it like that. I'm going to pass this empty object. And we're going to say comments here like this. Come back here. Then we are going to create this object here so we can grab it with handlebars, right? Boom. How does that look? Good? Okay. Let's come back here, and then we're going to eliminate all this because we're going to produce this dynamically with, you guessed it, handlebars. Okay. Let's do the each, and let's go through comments, that variable that's offered to us now when we are rendering this. And we're going to get the ID of the comment here in this wonderful, actually right here. So we get the ID. Mongoose handlebar does that for us, right? And we get the owner of that comment, which will be the user. Okay. Actually, that is, yeah, the user, and we don't need that. And the date. Let's see. Actually, we don't have the date in the comment, so we're not gonna get anything on the date on the model. So that would be good if we have it, right? We want to know what the comment was created, right? That would be a good field to have. Date and type date. And default date now, if I'm not mistaken, like this. Let me check out my post to see. I think I have it in the post. Date, default, date now, function. Come back to the post. Yeah, I think we can make it work like this as a property too. Okay, but I'm just gonna be on the safe side and create a function here like that. Okay, so next time we have a comment, we have this default. Let's refresh this, and now we can see some data, as you can see there. Perfect. Now it says the owner here. Now remember that in order for us to see this, we have to do something special. And if I have not told you that, which I think I did already, I will in the next lecture when we display the current owner here for the comment and maybe fix the date. So if you want to go ahead and try that yourself, you're welcome to do that. I'll see you in the next lecture. Thank you. Welcome back, my dear students. So we got a couple things going on in our application. Some of the things that I want to start adding to it. I want to add the owner of the comment. And now keep in mind, guys, that we add in this comment section here, but we might have to modify this later because we don't want every user to be able to see all the comments, right? We want them to see their comments. And maybe we don't even want them to see their comments. We don't even want them to manage their comments. So we might have to create some type of admin later on that helps with this. An admin that has access to every piece of data in this application. We want regular users to be able to see their posts, to be able to create their own posts, and if they see somebody else's post, not be able to do anything about it, right? Something like that. But we'll deal with that later. Right now, what I want to show you is how to bring this data here, and that you probably already know. But I wanted to have this little neat feature here, maybe for an admin later on. So let's get to it. What I want to do is I want to go to comments, and in this route here, I want to populate it with a user. Remember that we have a relationship. And now if we go back to the comments index, we should be able to say user, and we see an object or something there. Huh. Okay. That was supposed to happen there. We're populating the user. Let's check the model. Oh. Yeah. I had that cursor there for some reason. I might have saw this maybe in another lecture and wanted to fit in and was waiting for this Edwin from the past to make the mistake or something. I don't know. I think that was it. Refresh, and yep, that's it. Let's go back to index, the comments index, and let's do Edwin first. User first name, and of course the only person that has been making comments is his person right here called Edwin, which is your instructor. Okay, let's format the date too. What is it? How was the date formatted before? I think we were playing around with. Let's come back here. Let's see what the functionality that I have right here. I'm just gonna use that. Why bother, right? Come back here, and there we go. That should do the trick. Voila. Now, and this is something that I want you guys to do. Try to do this before I get to it. I want you to put a delete button here somewhere, okay? And in the next lecture, I will show you how to do that. Of course, you already know how to do that, but I want you to do it yourself. So this is your quiz. This is your little test, your little challenge, okay? So just in case for those of you that get asked by the platform, hey, listen, you're learning something well. If you're not doing the challenges and you're writing the code with me, you're not learning. So get to that, put a delete button there because we want to be able to delete those comments from there. Now, one thing that I also want to build here is the ability to be able to see this in a different format. Like for example, I want to be able to see like only the comments available to that specific user. Okay, but that's something that we got to do later on. But I also want the ability to be able to comment once we delete the post that has the comment. That's going to be an interesting feature, right? But anyway, so just do the first, what I just asked with the delete functionality, and I'll do that in the next lecture, guys. Thank you. Welcome back, my dear students. Are you guys ready? Let's do this. So the next step for us to do is to put this delete here. So let's go ahead and create another cell here, another row, and let's just create this form. Okay. You can create a link, but I like the form because it's just a little bit more secure. Okay. And we can just make it so that is a button type submit like that, and this is just gonna delete. Let's just give it a class. Remember, these classes are coming from Bootstrap, btn, btn danger. Simple as that. And here we're just gonna go to the this route admin comments. That's gonna be a delete. So we need to start passing some parameters here. Okay, let's go back and make sure that this is a method post. Simple as that. So let's add something here. First thing that we got to do is add the ID and of this comment that we are deleting, right? And then we need to add the method like this, and this is going to be a delete. Simple as that. Okay, so now let's go to back to the routes comments, and now let's create some type of delete functionality right here. Now you're welcome to test this delete. Remember that I usually do a console on the data, right? Just on the route, just to make sure that we're getting that. But I know this is has to work, and if it doesn't work, we'll fix it, right? So what do we want to do? Well, we want to remove, right? So we're gonna access the comment, and we're gonna say remove this. Now you're welcome to use, I believe, remove by ID. It's available to us. Find and remove by ID. Let's see. And then we just pass the ID right here, like this. Rec params.id, and then we get the deleted item or something like that. Okay. Then we can just redirect back to res.redirect back to that specific page, which is admin comments, something like that. Okay. So find and remove by ID. I think that's a method, if I'm not mistaken. Okay. So let's come back here and delete and fix that. Let's go ahead and try this out real quick. Let's refresh, delete, remove, and find and remove. Really change this a little bit. Let's see, find, and let's check this one out. Find one and remove. I love experimenting with this. Sometimes I don't even know the method, and it comes to be the right one. Let's go back here, guys. Let's stop playing around with this thing. I forgot the method. You see, let's just do it like this. I remember what the method was, and I'm not gonna go to the documentation to try to find it, guys. I would just like to use the other method. It's just easier to use. Okay, let's go here and let's just remove it and stop playing around. Okay, there we go. You're welcome to go into the documentation, find it. I'm not gonna go and play around with it right now, but there's so many different methods of remove that I keep forgetting the way they are ordered. Now, and we went through it. Okay, you guys know that we went through it, so you can go to those lectures and try to see which ones I did there. Okay, because I was very fresh with that knowledge. But over time, I just started, keep using remove and I forget the rest. And I forget the order. Is it find one or find and remove by ID or find by ID and remove? It's just all over the place. So much information, guys. Just stick to one, okay? Remember, stick to one. Anyway, so we did this. It was pretty cool. And that's all we need for now. I think the next functionality would be to either show all the posts here, show the user's posts, or delete the post with the comments. What do you guys think? If I delete a post, we should be able to delete the comment that goes with it. That would be a nice feature to have. Let's play around with that on the next lecture. Welcome back, my dear students. So in this lecture, we're going to learn how to delete related data. This is a very good skill to learn when you're deleting certain documents, especially specifically when you're deleting users or that have posts, or maybe posts that have comments and stuff like that. Okay. So let me show you what I have done. I have created, I went to admin and I created two posts. These two posts, each of them has 3 comments. This one here, okay, and we're gonna do that functionality later on. We want to see how many comments we got here, right? That would be nice. This one has a picture, and this one does not have a picture. So the one that has a picture has 3 random comments that has random words in the body. Okay, so this 1, 2, and 3 comments belong to the post that has a picture, and there are 3 more comments that belong to the one post that don't have pictures, and these 3 comments have random numbers in the body. Let me show you. Okay, you see, those are the 3 comments that have random words, and these are the 3 comments that have random numbers. So, and remember that you have to log in order for you to create comments. So I did that. Now it's time for us to build a functionality where we delete the post and all the comments are gone with it. So let's go ahead and play around with that. So I'm in my posts my post routes, and in here in the delete router or route, I'm going to say I want to populate the comments with it. Okay, now this is going to bring an array of comments for each of my comments. Okay, so let's come back here. We can do this right below here if we wanted to. So if we do console.log, you can see here that it says that we will have some comments. Let's test this out real quick, and let's comment this out. So when we click delete, we should have some comments here. See that? The 3 comments for that specific post. Good stuff. Cancel this. Let's go back here. We don't need that anymore. Now, we need to check to see if this array is empty or not, because we don't want to make extra functionality here if we don't need to, right? The more features, the more code we have, the more our application suffers from execution time. So let's check to see if the array post.comments that length is smaller than 1. If it's smaller than 1, okay, then we know is 0 and is empty. And if that's empty, if it's not empty, and this is what we're doing with a question mark, if it's not empty, then we want to do something, right? What do we want to do? Well, we want to grab the array and do a for each on it. And this for each is going to bring the comment back, so we can use it like this. And we can say comment dot remove. Simple as that, guys. Very, very simple. And down here, we just want to keep doing the same thing, right? Regardless if we have our empty comments or not, we want to still remove the comment. Now, keep in mind that this returns a promise as well. You can just attach a promise here, and you can say post removed. Okay. If you want to make sure that that was removed. Okay. So let's go and check this out real quick. I'm gonna refresh here just in case. And for some reason, my post picture got deleted. I don't know what happened there. Refresh. Oh, it's weird. Anyway, so I'm going to start with the one that has the random numbers. Delete. It's not here anywhere. And if I go to comments, we only have 2 comments, and we don't have the comments where the random numbers are, right? So, and we don't have it here as either. So let's go ahead and do the last one. Done. Let's go to comments, and the comments are not there. That's it, guys. I hope you saw how easy that was. You can use this for your users functionality if you want to delete users later on with their posts. Okay. So very, very simple. Remember that you have a promise that you can attach here. And if you want to verify that that was removed or something like that. Okay. So you can do a flash there and say, okay, listen, the comment was removed and the post was removed or something like that. I mean, you can modify this however you want. My goal here was to show you how this is done, and now you know. And there are a couple other ways of doing it. Remember that you're dealing with an array here. Also remember that you're dealing with a reference. Okay. And we're dealing with methods here that would do queries in our database. So just always keep that in mind. But anyway, thank you so much for watching this lecture, guys. It's been a pleasure like always. And I'll see you in the next one. Hi, welcome back, my dear students. So I went ahead and created another user called Jose, and I gave it a password of 123. I also have some posts here. I have 2 posts, and one of the posts I made 2 comments. So make sure that you log in and you create 2 comments, one from each individual user. What I did was I created a comment, and I called it, I logged in as Edwin Diaz, and let me log in so you can see 1, 2, and 3. And I went ahead and made a comment, and I said from Edwin Diaz here, something like that, right? And then I went ahead and, of course, that would be a logout button here would be nice too in the front, right? I went ahead and logged in as Jose. 1, 2, 3. Created another comment here, and I say from Jose. Now I'm gonna have like double the comments in my database, and I have 4 of them. Okay, as you can see, these are the comments from Jose, whatever. My goal here is to show you in this lecture to kind of filter through the comments that belong to the current user, the user that's logged in, and that's super easy to do. There are a couple ways that we can do that. we can come to the comments routes, and right here where we are looping and showing all the comments and populating with a user, we can do a little filter here, and we can say, well, I just want to see the comments that belong to the reg user ID, which is the user that's logged in. Remember that we get this user reg user in the request from our login functionality. Now, of course, if I do refresh, we're gonna have an error there, okay, because we're not logged in. Make sure that you log in. I'm just gonna log in with Edwin Diaz, and if I go to comments, you're only gonna see the comments from Edwin Diaz. That's good stuff, and of course we can delete it. Welcome back, my dear students. So I got my database empty again, and the reason, like I said before, that the reason why I empty it is because we want to make sure that whatever we are creating, it's doing what it's supposed to be doing, and whatever we are basically using is doing what it's supposed to be doing. I want to go ahead and edit this guy here and add a picture to it. Okay, as you can see, now I'm logged in already, so I'm gonna make a comment. I'm gonna make 2 comments here for this specific post. Okay, and we have comments, 2 comments, and 2 posts. Okay, now if we look at the first post here, we got the 2 comments right here in this array. We don't have it here. My goal here in this lecture is to be able to delete, okay, this comment, not only delete it, but also take it off from this comments array. Okay, because we don't want to be referencing anything that we don't have. And you know, if you can keep putting things into this array and then you delete the comments separately, then all these references are going to be there. The comments are not going to be there, but you're going to have a whole bunch of references. We're going to take that off every time we delete a comment. So how we are going to be doing this? Well, the first thing is removing the comment. Okay, that's done. But then we get this promise here with the comment that's being deleted, right? Or with that result, and we want to do something with it. Okay, so we want to go ahead and go to the post and make sure that you have that model, okay, required on top, and we want to go ahead and say find and this is gonna be a funny one. Find one and update. And I think this is the right one this time, guys. Okay. I actually remember it after I made that lecture where I didn't remember it. After I created that lecture, I was like, oh, that's what it was, you know? But anyway, so um, we want to find and update any post that has a comment field that has the ID that we're passing in on top, okay? That ID, remember, is for the comment. So we're gonna go inside this post and we are gonna go inside this field and we're gonna go around that array and find that specific comment, okay? And then we, of course, we're gonna get, once we find that specific comment ID, right? This is what I mean when I say comment. This comment ID, that would be the post that we want. And inside that post, what I want to do is I want to use some operators, okay? Remember that the update query here, this update with Mongoose has different, with MongoDB has different operators that we can use, right? I showed you one of them, which was the set already, but there are many of them, and I showed you the page of that. You can go ahead and talk to Google, my best friend, and ask him, you know, MongoDB update operators, and you should get all the results there on Google. Okay, so let's go and use another operator here called pull. This is going to allow us to pull stuff from an array. Okay, and here we are going to say, well, I want you to go to this array comments, and I want you to pull whatever looks like this, and which is the comment ID. Okay, simple as that. And of course, we're going to pass in now a callback function with some error and maybe some data or something like that. And if error, we could return the error or throw an error and break the whole thing, right? Or console the error just in case. Let's console it just in case, so that way we can see if anything went wrong. Or and that's it. Okay. Now, if this is not an error, this is going to delete it. So you know what? We can just come back here and just put that inside there. That's going to execute anyway, right? So let's go and refresh. Oops, we gotta go and get the ID first. Log in. 1, 2, and 3. Log in. Now let's look at our database real quick. So we have two of them, two references here. 4402 is the one that I'm going to attack and try to delete, right? So let's go here. You can see 4402. Refresh. That was giving me that, that redirected me here. It looked like it deleted the comment. Let's look to see if the comment is there. The comment is not there. Let's go back to the post, and when we go to that comments array, it's not there. If you're not sure this is working, let's do it again just to make sure. Okay, let's create another comment here. Da-da-da-da-da. Let's go back to the database, refresh. Now we have that comment, the new one, cc53, cc53. Okay, now let's go to our admin real quick and see if we can do it. Let's delete all of them. That way we know what's going on. Refresh, no comments. Let's go to the comments array, and it's empty. Okay, I hope you see how easy that was. And if you have any doubts, just ask in the discussion. We should be able to address those doubts. Very simple to do, guys. There is so much information with Node.js. It's crazy. There's so much knowledge out there that the best thing to do is go out there to the documentation, read all you can, but make sure that you practice. Make sure that you try to do it your own, whatever way you come up with, and then go to the documentation, try to see if there is an easier way to do things. As you can see, this operator is helping us do a lot of things. Instead of us looping through all the posts and trying to come up with some for each loop to check that array and do a splice and all that, we can just use this operator to help us do all that behind the scenes, which is pretty cool. Thank you so much, guys. I hope you guys are learning a lot of different things in this course. I hope you're happy. If you're not, let me know and I'll try to make the course better. See you in the next lecture. Welcome back, my dear students. So there are a couple little features that I want to add to our application, but we're going to do that later on. Maybe a feature of only displaying our posts, right? Maybe we can create a link and have our post displayed in another page, or even maybe here, or even maybe taking this delete functionality out of here because we don't want to allow the user to delete or edit posts that don't belong to that user. Or maybe we can add the functionality behind the scenes where we can compare the ID of the current user with the ID of the user that the post belongs to, right? So there are a lot of things that we can do, but what I want to focus right now is on the comments, because we have a feature in the comment. I don't know if you have noticed, we have this allow comments here that I planned from the start. I want to be able to either allow or not allow comments. And we can see that this is false here, right? And if we go back, we can see that this is true. So that's already set up in our database, and that's not hard to do. So in this is the future representative right here. This is the title. Let's go back to our post. We're not supposed to be seeing comments there. So let's not accept them. Let's go back here to our post. Let's go to view. Let's come back here. It's going to be in the home page. Post.handlebars, right? And this is the comment form. And I don't want to show anything here. This is all the comments. Well, we're gonna play around with that later. This is the media 4. right here. Making sure I am in the right spot. We don't want to make a mistake and delete everything, right? So this here is the media body, and one div down is that. Okay. And this is the large 8. Okay, perfect. Let's come back here. We want to make sure that we keep this thing separated. So what I want to hide is the comment bots. Okay, let's see if we can go to the home page. This is what I want to hide, these comment bots here. We want to allow them to see the rest of the comments, the commentators, but not the comment itself, not the bots, the input, the form. So what I can do here, what we can do is we can say, well, if allow comments, and it's actually post allow comments. If we do this, then we are trying to say if this is true, right? Because it's an if statement. So let's come back here and finish it. Now let's go back to that and refresh. And now you can see there is nothing there. Now let's put an else statement there because we need to let them know that unless they're logged in or something, this is not going to work. So it's up to us to do something here. But what I want to do is that I want to create, let's look at this real quick. Maybe we can say comments not allowed on this post. And let's just create something like this, comments not allowed for this post. Okay. You see that there? Now we can make that a little better by putting some type of HR and maybe a BR tag here. Let's come back here, refresh, and we can make this a little smaller, or just make it look nice or something like that. So you can see that comments are not allowed. We can make it in red. We can design it however we want, but you get the point, right? So that's fine. But we also want to make sure that the user is logged in to make a comment. That would be nice, right? And to make that functionality super simple, okay? We can come here and we can say, well, if user, right? And we can do this right below this one, like that. So now if we are logged in, we will be able to see that. If not, we won't see anything, okay? So if we go to admin, you can see that I'm logged in, but if I log out, come back here, home page, that, and now we don't see anything at all, okay? Now what we need to do in this else statement here, let's put it right here, we got to say you need to log in. Now I'm just doing this functionality for you to know. You can put this however you want, okay? And then we can just give them a link or something. And as a matter of fact, let's create a link here, just a small link, and let's put that in the link. That's fine. Let's just do a link here. Let's say login, and we're gonna send it to the login here. Let's come back here, and you can see that link there, but we need a BR tag or something in that HR. Okay. So now the user will log in, and then voila. So that's one way of doing that. Again, you can place this however you want, and once the user logs in, they can see that the post does not accept any um, comments, right? Cannot take any comments. That's up to you how you want to do it. But now you know the functionality here. Pretty cool stuff, right? So let's go back and first of all, let's log in. Okay, 1, 2, and 3, and we didn't have to log in, but we are right now. And I'm gonna make this to true. Allow comments. And now if we go to that specific post, we're gonna be able to see the post there. Okay, super simple and super cool. And we can make the post, the comment. Thank you so much, and I'll see you on the next lecture. Another functionality that I want to actually put in here is the ability to have comments for posts. Okay, now this template here is asking us to also allow it's not asking us, but the design is telling us that each comment also has a reply. I'm not going to build that functionality yet. Maybe we'll do it in the future. But that will require just another extra model, a reply model, and with that reply model, you'll have a user, you'll have a comment, right? ID in there as well. So there's a couple things to that reply. We can, that's pretty easy to plan and build, but I'm not going to go into details that. My main focus right now is to get these comments here because this course is getting over 200 lectures or something, right? So I want to actually show you this. So let's go and see how we can get dynamic data here from the comments. So let's go to posts and this is the single comment here. So we're going to play around with this guy. And right now what we got is, let's check our routes real quick because we have a post is a home route. Let's go back here to home. And let's go where we are actually displaying that specific post, as you can see right here. Now, this post right now, let's check to see. We get one post, but let's check to see if we get the, what do we get when we do a console? Console.log. Let's see what we get. Okay, let's refresh. Oops. Let's come back here, and you can see now that we get a post, and we get a post with an empty string of comments. Now that post, this is the 2A22, should have some comments. Let's refresh here. 2A22, and it does not have any comments. So that's good. Let's see if we can create some comments for that post. Okay. Let's go to, let's log in first of all. You can take this functionality of logging in, guys, if you want. It just makes things easier. I'm just gonna create 2 posts for this, and there. Let's go to our database. We got the 2 comments right here, and if we go to the post, we see the 2 references there. Good. Okay. So now if we do a console log on this here, I don't know why I took it off. Console.log post. Refresh. You can see now that the comments has an array. Okay. Pretty cool stuff. What if we do a populate here? Populate. What do you think we're gonna get? And we do comments. Come back here. Well, let's go back here and let's check out the comment section. Comment field. Let's see. We have comments and we have the whole object there that we can use. Pretty cool stuff, right? Okay. So now all we have to do is go back to that post, that handlebars, and here we'll loop through it, right? But let's actually create the loop. Each comment right? That's how we get it. Now, actually right here, let's see what we get with this if we do it like this. Remember that this is a single post. Come back here. All right. Now we're supposed to have two posts, and this is, we are actually displaying this right here. I just want to make sure that this is the right guy. 52822. Yep. We're supposed to have two. Each comments. I need to log in. Well, I need to log in to comment, but I need to log in to see the comments, right? We're supposed to be seeing, let's see where we are here, because I think I got a good feeling that I'm not in the right place. This is actually A. Let's come back here. For some reason, I'm not seeing that S, unless I'm missing it. No, that one is showing. What's not showing is the first one. So this first one is not showing, which means that we are doing this the wrong way. There we go. There we go. All right. I forgot that this is a single post, and I think I said that before. But anyway, here, why don't we put the user, right? The user of this comment, which would be user that first name. You can make a, come back here. Actually, we need to actually populate that user as well, because if you do user like this, you get the ID. We need to also populate that. So let's get the body while we do that in the next lecture. And in the body right here. And now each of those comments have a body. Good stuff. On the next lecture, I'll show you how to populate that user. Thank you so much, and see you then. Welcome back, my dear students. I hope you guys are having a blasting day, okay? A day that is super natural in skills, learning, and happiness, okay? And if you're not, you need to get over that and start actually being happy, because what you're doing right now, not a lot of people have the opportunity to do, which is learning in a computer about programming. You might even have a job. Some people don't have a job. And if you don't have a job, don't worry. With these skills, you're going to find one, and you're going to find one that pays you a lot. I have a reputation for helping a lot of students find employment. And when I say find employment, I mean teaching them the skills they need to get that job with specialized knowledge. Okay, like this one, Node.js, which is a really good knowledge to have, and people will pay you a lot of money if you know what you're doing. Okay, anyway, so in the last lecture we got to display the comments. We are displaying the user ID here, but that's not what we want. We are displaying the body properly, but it's time for us to display the user. Remember that when we are seeing IDs like this, that means that we have to do the populate, right? So we are populating the comments, but we need to populate the user. Okay. So let's actually not only populate the comments, but let's populate the user. And we're going to modify this populate feature right now. Okay. So I want you to pay very close attention to what I'm about to do. So here in this populate, we can go ahead and create this. Well, it's something that's already pre-built. You can check the documentation. We need to pass this object that has a path here. What you want to do is you want to give it the path of what you want to be populating. We want to be populating the comments, right? Second parameter here, we pass it a populate function, believe it or not, okay? Another populate function because we want to populate something else, okay? So what we want to populate has another path, and the path is a user, okay? So this is how we can populate multiple things. Inside one populate function, we pass an object with more keys and values. So now that we are populating the user, we need to tell it in which model to find it. We're going to put a comma here. And I'm going to put model for the key. And I'm going to say, well, you can find this in the model users. Simple as that. And now if we go back to that, we refresh and we can see an object. And what is that object? Well, that object looks like a user object. Look at that, as the first name there. And it's a good reason why we see the user object. And that's because, let's go back to that post. We are actually displaying the whole user there. But we can say first name. Refresh, and voila. Now we have the first name of that user. Now let's take all that static code out of there, right? Let's come back here. We see some nested things there, but what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna comment this out because we don't need it. Maybe we'll add a feature for that later, but not right now. Okay, let's come back here and refresh, and voila. Okay, now you see the comments. Now you're welcome to make this as pretty as possible. Okay, maybe we'll add some type of avatar here, maybe pulling data from Google or something like that later in the future. That would be a good function to create. It's not very hard. It's actually very easy. We got to start working on some other features that I want to add here. We're now logged in, so we can't access that guy there. Okay, so we have to log in to access our comments. Thank you so much for watching, guys. I hope you're learning a lot. Let me recap here. If you already know what I did, don't bother watching this video again. Okay, so again, we want to populate the comments, so we create this because we are doing a nesting population. We're gonna be inside the populate, we're gonna insert a object. Okay, we're gonna give it a path to what we want to populate. In this case, we want to populate comments. We're done with that. Then inside there, we create a key that has another object inside, and we ask, what do we want to populate? We want to populate a user. But then he's asking us, oh, you got to tell me the model now because you're going a little deeper. Okay, you're doing nesting now, so we need to know exactly what is it that you want to populate. And so we say model. We want to populate that model. We want to populate the user from this model. That's it. Pretty simple. Okay, now if you are skeptical about the comments, let's log out and let's log in as another user. And let's 1, 2, 3. Let's come back here and let's make sure that this is working properly. I want to create a comment as Jose. Okay, so I'm going to say, hey, how is it going? Submit. We come down here and we can see a comment from Jose right in the bottom there. Pretty cool stuff, right? So that's working. It would be nice to put this in moderation or something like that and approve the comments. Maybe we'll add a feature later on, okay? Because we don't want a lot of people to be putting comments here unless we moderate it, right? But that's another feature in another lecture. Thank you so much for watching, guys. I hope you guys are learning, having a lot of fun, and I'll see you in the next lecture. Hi, welcome back, my dear students. So on this lecture, I want to actually add the name here of the specific owner of this post. So let's go back to our post.handlebars. Super easy stuff to do, right? And it says by here, and we just have to say by the user. Post.user. That first name. You think that's gonna work? Refresh. No, it's not gonna work. And this is why I'm doing this lecture. Okay, so let's go back to where we are actually bringing the user. Now, if you try to do this, look what's gonna happen. Refresh. We don't even get the user like this. Now, can you guys guess why we're not getting the user? Well, we don't have a user for the post, guys. We don't have one. So that's a really bad thing, right? So let's go ahead to our model and let's create a user. Remember what we're doing here. We create a user. Now, to avoid confusion between the logged in user and the user for that specific data, you might want to change your, let me show you, change your global user that we have right here, like to maybe something like logged user, like that. Okay, We're probably gonna do that later on when we see some conflicts, because in all the time we are playing around with our data, we are seeing that the user is there. It's just they have the same name, so that could be a conflict. So you might want to change that in the future. Um, let's go ahead and say user. Here we're just gonna say the type is schema, and it's types object ID, and it's gonna ref the users. Let's put some quotes around here. There we go. Let's put a little comma here. Beautiful. So now we have that space there to be put in the user, but we don't have a user. So remember, we need to insert a user now in post. So we are actually doing creation and editing the post in the post. So we need to play around with that. Let's go back to our routes. Right here. Let's see what we are creating the post. Right here, we are editing the post. So we can just say post.user, and we can put the user ID there of the logged in user. Okay. And this is, there we go. And let's do it in the, remember that this is not going to work. We're not going to have a user here unless we are logged in. So you always got to remember that. I didn't want to put that there because it was kind of early in the beginning. So here in the post where we are adding a user, adding a post, we should create one here too. Request user.id. Okay. So let's go to admin real quick. But we need to log in, remember that. So let's go ahead and delete all the posts that we got here. It would be nice to have a functionality where we can delete everything in one go later on. I keep adding stuff. You know how I do in my courses, guys. You know how that works. So let's log in. 1, 2, and 3. I think we got some comments here. No, we don't. Let's create, and we could insert that in the generated post too, functionality, but let's do that here. Maybe we'll create another lecture, post number 1, another lecture where we're gonna be doing it, fixing that faker functionality we got, and say my first post. We're gonna allow create the post, and it's good. And let's check the post. Good stuff, right? To see if our user was inserted, and it looks like it was. But now we have the problem where we see that, yeah, we don't have our username here. We have some type of ID. So how can we fix that? Well, let's go back here to our, okay, this is good. Let's go back here to our posts, and no, actually it's our index right here. So this is where we are populating the comments. Okay, now we have this populating the comments, and inside that we're populating the user for that comments, right? But we're not populating the user for this specific post. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna create another populate right here, populate, and we are going to populate the user, and I think this should work very good. Refresh, and voila, we have the object here. Look at that. So let's go back to that post handlebar here, and we're gonna say first name. Refresh, and now you have the user of that specific post. Of course, you have to log in to see anything else. Now, one thing that I don't see is a comment here, so let's log in to see a comment. Let's log in with Jose just to make it better. And let's go and log in. Hello, guys. And now we see that. Okay, we can log out just to make sure. We got to put a log out button there. Remind me of that. All right, let's come back here and we can see the comment here. Okay, and then we can see that it was made by a different person. All right, are you guys having fun? Good. All right, so let's continue with this and I'll see you on the next lecture. Take care. Welcome back, my dear students. So a couple of things that I want to do in this lecture here, it's we want to add a link to see this specific post. So I'm going to allow the user, we're going to allow the users to see all the posts generated by other users, but we're not going to allow them to edit or delete. We're going to add this functionality for our own pages, okay? Our own link. So we're going to create a link here that's going to say my posts or something like that. We're going to go to that link and we're going to see all the posts that are ours, and we're going to be able to delete and edit those posts, okay? As a matter of fact, I'm going to make this route. Let's go ahead and create it. Let's go and, but let's create this view first to see how that's done. So this is the index. I got lost there for a minute and went blank as well. It's a lot of code, right, guys? A lot. So admin post index, and we want to create another table. Let's see what we're going to be putting this. I think we should put it before the date. So right here, and this is just going to say, it's just going to be a link, okay, to, I just put it there like that, to post, and like this, and this is going to be the ID of the post, like that specific post. And we're just going to click view, which, let's just see if that works. And it says view, we click on it and it takes us to that specific post, which is 202. It's the only post available, guys. Come on, let's generate some posts. And this is another thing that I want to actually add as well. The faker, in faker, is the ability to add, you know, the all the posts with a user that's logged in, right? But we don't want regular users accessing that, so we're not going to play around with that right now. But let's create another extra post manually. My second post, and create. Oops, we're not logged in yet. We shouldn't even be seeing that we're not logged in, right? We should actually write something that will redirect us, so that way we don't have to go through that, right? My second post, we're just testing this out. This is post 9F03, 9F03. We should get a placeholder too as well there. So this is done here, okay? Now let's create a link that will allow us to see only our posts, okay? So how can we do something like that? Let's go back to our route right here. And I think we should put it close to the top. Okay. And we want a route that's going to take maybe a get request that will give us like, that would say something like my post. And then it will have an ID here. Okay. And we should get that from a link or something. Okay. And we'll come here, or we don't even need a link. Request, come back here, and that's like this. Let's get something very similar to that. We are going to be rendering another view called my posts. Okay, and we're gonna populate everything. Same thing we got there. Nothing, but here we're gonna make the difference here. So we're gonna say, well, I want to download, well, not download, but fetch all the posts from this specific user, which is the guy that's logged in. Okay, now let's create the view real quick. And admin posts, and we're gonna call this my posts. It's a handlebars, so make sure that you say my posts, that handlebars. Very similar to this guy right here. Come back here, paste that in there, and let's see how we get this. Now let's make a link here. Let's go to the layouts, admin layout. Actually partial, I think we have one there for admin sidebar, and we can create another link inside all posts right here. And this is just gonna be my posts. Let's call this my posts. Let's refresh, come back here, my posts, and cannot get. Okay, let's go back and see why do we created that. Let me see on the URL, admin posts. Okay, that's what it is. It's admin posts like this, and we need to be logged in for that. Remember, for that route. So let's go and log in. 1, 2, and 3. Come back here. My posts. Oh, can't find the, oh, because we have that view not not set correctly. Let's come back to our right here. There we go. And that's gonna refresh again, so we have to log in. Okay. 1, 2, and 3. Remember that. My posts. And there we go. Okay. It looks like we don't have any posts for Edwin, which, let's refresh. We have 2 posts here. The user BB, which is the only user, which is Edwin. That's strange that it's not populating my posts. Okay. So rendering the post. Let's find out why that is. Let's come back here, refresh. That's because we need to match the user key. Now that's going to refresh again. We need to do this. 1, 2, and 3. You see the move? You see how this goes? Super easy. My post, and now we got only the posts related to that user. If we go to all posts, well, we have a whole bunch of other posts here, but let's go and log out and create posts from another user. 1, 2, and 3. This is Jose's posts. I hope you guys are learning a lot here, guys. It's a lot of writing code, a lot of doing things over and over again, but this helps you become better. Remember that. Okay. This is Jose's post. Now, if I go to my post, you're only seeing that post from that specific user. Remember what I told you about the buttons here. It's better that we don't allow the user to delete, or whoever to delete his buttons here. We also have to create another column for this. That doesn't look right. Let's go to that view. Come back. Let's close all this. This is making me already dizzy. Okay. Is that actually admin right here? So after allow comments, okay, that should look better now. There we go. And that's a heading. That's why it's not coming up as a all bold, because it wasn't a heading. Now it is. Okay. And now we got to take all that off and leave it in the other one. So let's take this form out. There's 2 extra links there. Perfect. Let's come back to, you're not gonna see my post because that's, well, we're actually seeing it. That's pretty cool. It hasn't logged us out yet. So we're able to do things to our post, but yeah, this is pretty cool here. We'll add some other features later on. Thank you so much for watching, guys. I hope you learned a lot in this one. This lecture was kind of long, but we did it pretty good. Thank you, and I'll see you in another extra lecture.